Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Yay! It is indeed a brand new day. I went out for an early walkies right around 11:30. I'm just, now that it's getting into wintertime when, traditionally you spend more time inside, and this is a cracker box, I don't want to be just sitting inside. I've been feeling the past week and some kind of bad, physically and mentally, by just staying in from the time I get up till the time I go out walkies, like 7 o'clock at night. So I went out for a walkies at 11:30, and I want to keep taking a morning walkies so I can get sun. I have seasonal affective disorder, and I need more sunlight. And as much as I don't like going out in the sun, as much as I've worked like graveyard shift for a major part of my life, I am used to being nocturnal. But at the same time, I'm older now, and the sad thing is affecting me harder. So I want to go out there for walkies out in the daylight. And so I did that. And I got back, and it is 2:15 now. And I'm only now getting started recording. But one of the things that happened is, out on my walkies, I went and I picked up meds at the local Walmart that I had went and renewed like 8-9 days ago and then forgot about. So I picked those up because they hold them for 10 days. And then I went to the local pot shop and I bought 2 pre-rolls. Now, living here, you cannot have cannabis on site. It's a clean and sober facility. They check for hard drugs when you first come in, but that's, and unless you give them like any reason to suspect you, then you're fine after that. But, no alcohol on site, nothing like that. But since alcohol and cannabis is illegal here in Washington State, they can't say you can't use it, but they can tell you you can't bring unused product on site. So I smoked those pre-rolls, and I was actually feeling good, mentally and physically. Unfortunately, most of my life, I have not had good feelings. It's been a lot of trauma and pain and just not good stuff. So feeling good, both physically and mentally, has been rare. So I decided to savor that, and I just watched videos and some, but I also get antsy, my ADHD, where I crave that occasional chaos and disruption on my own terms and my own scheduling. But I do also require routine and habit. So even though I'm still in the tail end of feeling good, here I am recording. And I just thought I'd explain to you that I am on the tail end of that. But one thing that I did want to talk about, because I've got a few things written down here, not many, but one of them is, again, about the game Decayed. There's a couple decks. One of them is an item deck. There's an exploration deck and all that. But this one, glasses, you can find as an item. I'm trying to make it so it's not shiny. +1 perception. Now, these are just random glasses that you find. Have you ever put on anyone's glasses that aren't of your prescription? You can't see jack with somebody else's prescription. And if your own prescription starts to not be as good because your eyes are changing, your own glasses aren't that good. But glasses in the decayed universe give you +1 perception. So it's not about the vision that it gives you in this universe. It's something about the physical act of wearing glasses that increases your perception, which means, paradoxically, in the decayed universe, if you have negative perception because your eyes are bad, so you need glasses, that means you actually have better perception than people whose eyes aren't bad, because you're wearing glasses. And glasses, regardless of the prescription, increase your perception. Now, that's just me being pedantic and sarcastic and all that about the game, but I think that's a valid thing to think about. But I just thought I'd mention that. Other than that, I have been watching a lot of videos, and I can't even remember what it was that got me started, but somebody had said, hey, in comments a while back, why don't you try the next thing to actually take a taxi now that you've edited the taxis so that they act normally? Well, there were way too many non-normal vehicles. Now, there's one channel that every single vehicle, except for maybe the taxis, is a cruise missile. And they do an entire video, like 40 minutes, of just trying to get into the taxi and get somewhere. That much, I think, is just dull. But I didn't just edit the taxis before. I edited in a handful just using copy and paste. I'm not clever enough to figure this out on my own. I had to just figure out that I was like, if I just take copy and paste the handling data from the original stuff that I put into a file and copy it into the handling data that the game uses, I can just change the cars that I want. And so I've been doing that, and I had a handful of cars that worked normally. Something got a wild hair in me, and I went and added about another 10-15 cars that act normally. And then I had to check it out. And yeah, there are a lot of cars that act normal. I was walking on the streets where you'd hardly know the chaos that was happening until one car that was of the edited type would come through like fired out of a cannon and clear out almost every vehicle on its blast through. And of course, the screams of horror, terror, and pain that follow afterward. I went through to test it, as mentioned, and the first thing I did was hop into a vehicle that was parked. And it was not an unedited vehicle, or an edit. It was not made to be a normal vehicle. I ended up flying across the city before I slammed into a building, came down and hit the ground. The car was in bad shape, but it hadn't exploded yet, so I actually got out of it and survived that. I flew like a mile through the air. So I'm going to be hopping into vehicles a lot because I'm going to be recording a GTA 4 video after this here goes public. So thumbs up for that. I enjoy the speed mod madness. I want to do a chaos mod for GTA 4. The only thing that scares me on it is the fact that you have to download it off of non-verified stuff, and the things you don't really know if it's acting nicely. So I feel all itchy, but I still want to try one. Is there anything else that I have up there on my list? Not really, because I haven't been doing much. I have been, once again, just trying to take it easy, trying to play games as best I can, and let me tell you, I've been playing a whole bunch of No Man's Sky, and I made a post about this particular part of it, but I landed on a planet where they had Titan worms. And Titan worms are kind of scary because they come blasting up out of the ground and fly up through the air, and then they dive back into the ground like, fish or whales that don't beach. They come up out of the water and then slam down. When they're screaming, it's loud, deep bass. They make the screen shake. They give controller rumble. Because I play No Man's Sky with my controller. My nerve compression has been pretty good lately. The symptoms of it. And I want to keep it that way. So I play as whatever can be comfortably played or well played with controller, I will play with controller. And No Man's Sky plays great with a controller. And since I play it so much, it's great that I can play it and not worry about stressing out the nerves and the muscles stress out the nerves, and then the nerves stress out the muscles, and then everything goes downhill from there. So yeah, but I went onto this one planet where there was Titan worms, and I noticed it said Titan worm burrow after I saw them blasting around, and they were screaming, and the screen was shaking and my controller was shaking, and then it said Titan worm burrow as a thing I could run toward, and I ran toward it just to see, hey, what do they show you in this place? And then a bunch of Titan worms popped their head up and started casting stuff at me, at which point it was like, okay, time to go. And I left that planet behind. But I have been finding all sorts of new and crazy things and having adventures where I am actually surprised. Well, I actually didn't survive this one. I needed a substance so I could plant some plants, and I wasn't able to find it. And it's like faecium as the pronunciation. You can get it as an organic byproduct from organic beings, or you can find these outcroppings. There's places where you find resources on planets, and they're just in an area where you can use your matter transforming gun to mine that stuff up, and you dig a huge hole, and then you've got all those resources. It was on a planet that was a lot of near very hilly, a lot of stuff up like this, and so I decided to go digging my way to it. And I reached a point where I accidentally dug outside while I was looking to see how far I had to went, and I actually fell outside of it. And I tried to use my jetpack to survive, and I ended up landing in a place where it was just this thin sliver of natural cavern. But I got stuck in there with some hazardous flora, and they killed me. But death is not permanent in the game, and it gives you a new iteration, and you start from wherever a good place for you to be is. But I was able to remake the tunnel, travel over, get the stuff I needed, and then I got the hell out of Dodge and off that planet because it was awful and hard to see anything. But I got what I needed, headed back home, and I planted some stuff, starting the next part of my expand my base quest. Yay! it's been half tragic getting individuals to help and expand my base. You can get like a science guy, and there's a plant guy, and a weapons guy, and a merchant guy, and, well, the merchant guy is the overseer. But there's these electronic people that they're part of a hive mind electronics, and one guy has a personality and is trying to do things, and as you're trying to help him out, you end up wiping their personality. So they're kind of impersonal now. And then there's an older weapons fellow who you're trying to keep alive even as they're dedicating themselves to you. And they're learning even as they're helping you out. But that's semi-tragic. Everything is just tragic. So thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, if you can like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, in my links down below, I have links to my PayPal, to my Patreon, and I'm sure there's another thing, Amazon wish list. So if you wanted to check those out, that'd be very cool, greatly appreciated. And speaking of Patrons, if you're a patron, said that oddly, patron, thumbs up and thank you so very much. Your help is appreciated to know, and definitely a thumbs up. When you look in the mirror, you are looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. For everybody that leaves me a comment, I read as many comments as YouTube will let me, which is pretty much all of them, I think. I meant to say something else, but now I can't remember how that goes. Lots of words that I cannot remember how they go. But thank you for writing comments. I do what I can to answer them, and I thumbs up and I read them. So I try to interact as much as is possible because I enjoy engaging, and I think it's important to let you know that you have been heard. I also play an internet game where I give out a writing prompt and a secret word asking that one or both be written into the comment section for blatant engagement farming. Thumbs up for that. Plus, it is nice to be heard. The last people that played were Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you, greatly appreciated. Adrian Bryan, 0327, good to see you as well. Momoka, thumbs up, good to see you on the other side of the world. We have Derek Geister? I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but thumbs up and thank you. And Gus Garrett, 6838, greatly appreciated and always good to see you. Thumbs up. And of course, if you have watched this far, if you could tell me, what do you think you would find inside that strange box? And of course, if you don't want to do the writing prompt, and I don't blame you, if you could type scenario into the comments, that would be very, very cool. Greatly appreciated. Do you have to do so? Absolutely not. It is not required in the slightest, and if you do not, I will not think worse of you. I'm constitutionally unable, plus it's just, that would be a weird thing to do. But if you do decide to play, and I'm trying to hold the card so you can see it without the light shining off the card protectors, if you do decide to play, thumbs up and thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Definitely a thumbs up. So yeah, I'm going to edit, render, upload. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to also record that GTA 4 speed mod insanity video with cars acting normally in it. And I'm going to try and do some actual driving, taking taxis and just driving. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done, because that would be very, very cool and definitely a thumbs up. So, or do I say more on that? That would be definitely thumbs up. But if you cannot, please do not beat yourself up, because you deserve better. There we go. Now I say so. Until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. Or at least I think so. And yeah, one day, I am going to actually write down some words of wisdom, but I haven't done that yet. ADD is fun because I have the ADD part of ADHD, and my sister has the ADHD part of ADHD, which, fun stuff. Not that you needed to know that.